Welcome back, all my dear chickadees. Today, we're going to be playing a BL game, of course. I mean, what else are we going to play, right? But today, we're going to be playing Obscura, Chapter 1, The Descent. I had been wanting to play this for a while, but then I got distracted by other games that were a bit shorter. So, it got pushed back a bit. But, we're going to be playing it now. Yes, I moved over here on this side because I wanted you to be able to see the logo now. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we're over here now. Okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm so excited. No one goes into the mountains without a reason. Okay, gate guard. Purpose of business. Buying. No one takes their past into the mountains. How are you going to pay? Some funds. Some work. Good luck with that. Everyone knows what it means when you go. No one says anything about it. Give me your bags. The guard looks through my things with perfect efficiency. Bored, they start asking me questions. What are you going to be called down there? Ooh, I like this. Okay. We are Mr. Sparrow. Sparrow. Good choice. Thank you. You have a mask, Mr. Sparrow? No one would sell me one. Not a problem. Here, if you're buying or selling. The gate guard waves to the mask hanging around the entrance, perhaps once worn by other visitors. The masks are an old custom. Plausible deniability. We're all faceless strangers under the mountain. Pick your poison. Ooh, I love masks so much. Okay, the charcoal colored one with worn lace and gold trim. Ooh, that sounds good. The cream colored one with flowery details painted across the left side. Also good. The burgundy colored one with swirling and embossed patterns. Oh, they all sound so good. I wish we had a picture to see. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're gonna go with the charcoal one with worn lace and gold trim. I take a mask off the wall and fit it to my face. It weighs on my head, but my mind feels lighter. I see my reflection in the mirror. Oh, we look cool. Is that us? The people under the mountains have beautiful taste. I hand the gate guard the money owed. Welcome to the marketplace. They step aside, allowing me passage into the tunnel in the side of the mountain. I begin my descent. At first I have to wonder if I've been tricked in some way. The passage grows narrower, the air stale and the path uneven. I'm walking by the last feeble threads of light that reach this deep. Ooh, yeah, that is dark. But then I see something. A shimmering, pale blue glow from around the corner. I fight through the narrowing walls until I am able to turn the corner. The passage suddenly widens. Then it opens. Oh, look at this city. I step from the passage into a cavern, so massive I can hardly see the end of it. The marketplace. There are several masked people who were seated or leaning against the walls around this little entryway, and now they are approaching me. Welcome, newcomer! A fresh face. Someone new could use a guide, couldn't they? Huskers. Or perhaps petty thieves looking for an easy mark. My valuables are kept under my heavy robe, safe from pickpockets. I steel myself and march forward, past the strangers. There's no logic to this place. A fishmonger selling dried and salted fish sit next to the bookseller with stacks of forbidden tomes. A fungus man and bird keeper are bickering. If there weren't obvious scams, I would have taken one of the offers for a guide and saved myself some time. Yeah, but we don't want to get robbed, right? We just got here. We kind of need everything. Yeah, At first I glanced at each stall in turn. Out here, nearest the entry tunnel, all the stalls are selling simple amenities or cheap thrills. The sort of things a departing traveler might want to have when they ascend. Not what I'm looking for. We gotta go deeper. It's not here. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be. Asking one of the sellers, I get directions. What are we looking for? We're clearly went to this dark area looking for something specific at this marketplace. The rough walls of this cavern, shifting and trembling in unsteady candle and glow-warm light, slowly turn smooth where natural walls turn to human carved. The ramshackle stalls turn to ramshackle buildings to painted and varnished walls. Okay, so it gets nicer the farther in we go. We started out in the slums and we're going towards like the main part of the city, I suppose. Or I guess where richer, more permanent people live. The quality of goods on sale are improving as well. The cheap basics are behind me. Ahead are the rare, the luxurious, and the illicit. The real reason anyone comes here. Seeing the sign for an apothecary, an easily recognizable serpent coiling around a staff, I slip inside. So we need medicine? Welcome. The shopkeeper is masked, of course, but it's not what grabs my attention. The din of hundreds of voices selling and buying and negotiating in the echoing caves is muffled, but not by much. That is because while the apothecary has 4 walls, there's no roof over their store. Newcomer, eh? What? You must be a fresh arrival. And why would you say that? You're starting where the ceiling should be. You're staring where the ceiling should be. You got us. You got us. You got us. We're like, oh, look. No ceiling. Look at that. Well, ain't that cool? Yeah, cool. Okay. I bet you got, I bet you get a bit of a draft from that, huh? I suppose in a city with no sun or rain, roofs are unnecessary. Only thing a roof keeps out in the marketplace is thieves. Are you not worried about thieves? A common weather pattern here? Far too common. I make an effort to examine the apothecary's mask. It's plain, plainer even than mine. Perhaps he is frugal, or perhaps he is poor by the standards of the marketplace. Well, you weren't driven in here by the weather. What do you need? I'm looking for lunar ichor. I resist the urge to explain my circumstances to the shopkeeper. No matter how meaningless or petty they seem, my secrets are one of the few resources I have in these depths. Good. Don't spill too much or you'll probably end up dead. This is a shady place. We need to keep some stuff to ourselves, and I don't really know what lunar ichor is for. It could be like something dark, or it's chilly in my room. Sorry. I guess this is perfect, because it's kind of chilly in a cave normally, so I guess I did this to myself. You have expensive tastes, or terrible luck. What I don't have is lunar ichor. Is that something you can remedy, apothecary? No. If money is a concern, I can make arrangements. It's not the money. I could never afford to stock that damnable ichor. Even if I could, I doubt I would be able to stomach it. The rumors were true then. That is unfortunate. Where does one go, then, to find that damnable ichor? Smuggler dens, the vaults of the lords of the market, or perhaps you could take a knife to the lunar god. Dang, what do we need this for? Is it that? Well, it's pretty expensive, apparently. Failing that, the auction house may provide. It is the largest house this side of the ruby walls. It even has a roof. Oh, wow. It's doing well for itself, guys. The apothecary cannot see my smile, but I hope he can hear it. I thank you for your timely advice, sir. Save your thanks for the lunar god. It'll be a miracle if you get that ichor. I take my leave of the shop. The noises rise again from loud to deafening. There are tunnels and additional caverns in all directions, but I continue the way I was going. The walls are getting smoother and the buildings more beautiful that I am approaching the richest part of the market. It stands to reason that's where the auction house will be. Yes. Yes. We gotta go to the rich part of town for, lunar ichor. What is it used for? Is my question. Keeping my eyes up, it takes no time to find the auction house. It's, as the apothecary said, the largest house this side of the ruby walls. There are long chains of glowworms draped over the promise-ridged roof that dangled and sway in the air and sway as the air shifts in the cavern. The building itself is deep, garnet red with gilded trim. Message received. You're very wealthy, whoever built this. The doors, covered in tiny engravings impossible to interpret in the dim lights, are wide open. Bright golden lamplight pours out into the street. People are freely milling in and out, and so I slip inside. I am underdressed for the occasion, but neither of the guards standing at the doors move to stop me. The sound of the outside suddenly dims, and I have to blink against the sudden brightness. I can hear my own muffled footsteps as I've crossed a plush carpet deeper into the auction house. Man, they even have carpet. Yeah, they're well-to-do. The whispered conversations through mask made a thin fog of sound compared to the din outside. The signs are in a language I do not recognize, but I can make some educated guess. The ornate double door standing locked and guarded must lead to the actual auction hall. There's a short, uncarpeted hall with gleaming, polished floors, lined with several doors. After a second, I see a giggling pair exit one of the rooms and straighten their clothes. That explains that, then. I think they were, having a nice little make-out session in there. What do you guys think? So far, I'm really enjoying how, like, immersive this is. It's, like, really going into detail and helping you picture what's going on around you and dragging you in. I really like that. It's really cool. There is one door that is little more than a window on hinges, left open. I peer inside for a second, only to see an ordinary office. Come in. The stranger sitting behind the desk waves to me, and so I step inside. Pardon me, I didn't mean to intrude. You can't intrude on the bookkeeper. I must always be available. You must be. How else could anyone check to ensure I'm not meddling in the books? Does it really come to that? Well, I have no such concerns. A buyer, are you? Couldn't I simply be a browser? You really believe someone would come to the marketplace, to the auction house, just looking to see what they find? I suppose someone must have, in all of history. Well, if that's the scale you're measuring by. You, however, are not here to browse. No, I'm not. You're right. I'm here to buy. Shall I show you the catalog for the next auction? Yes, please. I would appreciate it. The bookkeeper stands and hands me a sizable booklet. Do not damage it. Do not leave here with it. They open a drawer to their desk and hold up a knife. It's a little thing, but I have no doubt they could kill me with it. Then they sit again and resume their work. I flip through the book. There are objects of unimaginable value, works of art by artists I didn't even know by name, an exquisite jeweled tiara fit for any princess, the deeds to a country manor on the surface. Then there are the wonders I could never have dreamed of. The bird wreathed in flames that never burns, the still beating bloodstone heart of some rock nymph, a potion of clear vision. I flip a page and I'm met with the miserable, exposed face of a young child. Their posture is low and defeated. They are beautiful. The text informs me that whatever is paid in this auction was sent to their family within the mountain. Surely not. I flip the page again. There are no other people in the catalog. What is enough to turn my stomach? Thank you, bookkeeper. Finished already? What I want isn't in there. And what is it that you want? I'll check the history, see when it was last sold. I bite my tongue for a moment. Lunar Icar. An unlucky one, aren't we? I couldn't say, if you would, bookkeeper. They shuffle through a notebook. I try to read the text, but it's nearly impossible to interpret their faint pencil scratchings. More bad luck to heap onto your pile, I'm afraid. The last sale was 3 months back. It's unlikely we'll get another sale for months yet, unless someone new comes in with the stock. It couldn't be easy, could it? Is it linked to bad luck? Because every time it's brought up, they're like, you have bad luck. So is it supposed to be like the treatment for bad luck, maybe? And what was the final price for it? Oh god, this is gonna be high, ain't it? For a lot of 12. The number they tell me is stomach-dropping. I could not gather those funds in a lifetime. Even divided 12 ways, the price for a single vial is well beyond my means. My life savings weigh heavily in the corn purse under my robe. Dead weight, it seems. By your silence, I guess you don't have the money. Thank you for your time. I try to keep my voice neutral. When I leave the auction house, I momentarily lose my sight and hearing as I adjust again to the dim, echoing cavern. I don't notice the direction my feet are taking me. My hopes for a quick visit to the marketplace have been thoroughly dashed. Now I have to determine what to do. Ooh, we got our first option! Okay, beside the mask. So I am going to save here. Okay. So we can come back and choose something different if we need to. I think I'll think better after some rest. I can't afford to give up. Well, we don't need to give up anyway, but I think we've been dealt a blow, so it'd be good if we do take a rest. At the moment, I don't trust myself to make a sensible choice. Staying on guard here in the marketplace is exhausting, and my feet ache from climbing the mountain. I need some kind of rest before I have the energy to determine what to do next. I stop by a stall and ask directions for a decent inn, rest stop, public house, anything. Following the directions through a short tunnel, I wander through a quieter district of the marketplace. Though quiet is relative. The guest house is a challenge to find, though I hesitate to call the ground down walking paths roads. There are rest houses lining them on either side. The Leaping Bear, the guest house recommended to me, is nothing remarkable. The building has a roof, but the building itself is mostly made of raw wood. The brass doorknob is smooth under my hand, polished by the thousands of guests who come and go. Oh, this is nice and cozy. Inside, the atmosphere is boisterous, but on the scale of a handful of people singing a drinking song. The chaos outside is already muffled and distant. Bear Mask Caretaker. Welcome! The woman who approached has her face fully covered by a bear mask, but her neckline is untied and exposed. I wonder who she works for. Hello, I was told this is a good establishment to stay the night. You were told right. Except the part about night. Here there's no real difference between night and day. Plenty of folks are up at all hours of the day, as you do, just sleeping when they're tired and forgetting the sun ever existed. I see. The bare-masked woman has me sign into a guest book and pay for the night. You have the room for 24 hours. If you stay longer, I expect you here to pay for more time before it runs out, or else all your things will be sent to the moon shrine. I'll remember. Thank you. And you'll be needing these. She hands me a dull metal medallion on a leather string and key. Dear Rufus over there. She gestures to a mountain of a man, also in a bear mask, standing by the door. Make sure only guests go to the rooms. The medallion proves you're a guest. Don't lose it. Or else I'll find my things at the moon shrine? Pick things up quickly, you do. Seems like an important skill to have here. Quite right. She gets back to her business, so I approach the mountain of a man guarding the door to the rooms. Hello, Rufus. I hold up the medallion and wait. I'm not about to rush a man with a bat, especially when as blood-stained as his is. Yeah, it looks like it has spikes on it, too. You see that? Whew. Then he nods, and I'm granted passage. He watches me go to my assigned room. I suppose it's a good measure to prevent theft, but then so is a blood-stained bat. I mean, yeah, it is good that they have some sort of, security. Makes me feel a bit safer, Like, I might not get, stabbed in my sleep. Sleep doesn't come easily at first. How can I risk sleeping in the marketplace? But it does come for me. In the morning, or what my body decides is morning, my resolve has hardened. Leaving the marketplace without lunar ichor would render everything I've done pointless. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I stopped trying. I'm able to order something like breakfast from the Leaping Bear's kitchen, and then sit deep in thought staring at a bowl of porridge. Eating in this mask is a bit of a bother. I have to navigate the spoon around the mask. There's clasp, I stare at the sudden appearance of the proprietress. What? Feel alongside of the mask. There should be pins or clasps holding the bottom part. I do as she says and find little clasps holding the two parts of my mask together. Well, I feel like a proper fool. It already feels strange having my mouth exposed. Like a funny kind of nudity. Newcomers are all a bit foolish. That's part of their charm. Thank you. I think? Just keep your wits about you. You'll live. You make it sound so dire. Well, you're here, aren't you? You're not wrong. No one comes here without a good reason, I should think. What's yours? A personal matter. Buying or selling. That's all there is down here, after all. Buying. Something I might not be able to afford, it turns out. That won't narrow things down too much for... Well, depends how you try to buy things, doesn't it? Money will get you anywhere if you have enough of it, but there are other roads out there. Is that something you know a lot about? I couldn't say. I only know what stories the guest brings in. She says it flippantly enough, though there must be a story there, but I resist the urge to dig. Then, I suppose my next job is to find what paths I can use. Thank you. Oh, not a problem. The mask troubles everyone at first. She sweeps away to handle another matter, and I'm left with far more productive thoughts. Money won't give me lunar ichor, but something else might. Influence, friendship, violence, guile. My body, if it comes down to it. Anything. There's a lot to think about. Am I going to stay in a guest house for weeks or months? What possible ways are there to get lunar ichor? Let's start with one foot in front of the other. Over the next several days, I get to learn the layout of the marketplace. It's an ever-shifting rat's nest. Over the next several days, I get to learn the layout of the marketplace. It's an ever-shifting rat's nest of stalls and passages and unmanaged pathways. But there are some fixed landmarks. I can navigate somewhat comfortably by those landmarks when they're visible. One evening, based on my own internal clock, the proprietress of the Leaping Bear hints over a meal that as long as I am well behaved, she'd be willing to extend more generous long-term rates to me. I wasn't planning to misbehave, even less so with Rufus keeping an eye on me. So that settles the matter of lodgings for a moment. Well, that was nice of her. Be like, okay, if you're not going to cause me any issues, I might give you a deal if you're going to stick around longer. As for the lunar ichor, I'm at a loss. It is rare, incredibly rare, and based on the reactions of those I speak to about it, some aspects of it is very taboo. Likely the condition it treats. I'm wandering one of the quieter passages, clearly natural by how uneven the ground is. It's mostly homes, built on whatever smooth patch of stone the builder could find. But there's one that towers over the rest, a tall church with heavy oaken doors, where normally I would expect to see a golden 10-point star sigil. Instead, there is a more simple crescent-shaped one, the lunar sigil. I suppose the solar god isn't much help down here. I've seen the eerie green-blue light of the glowworms and the smoky gold of lanterns, but I had not seen the sun since I started my descent. Churches dedicated to the lunar god exist outside the mountain, but not in any significant numbers. The lunar god. Lunar ichor. It can't hurt to ask. Could it? I'm not sure I believe that the lunar god must bleed for there to be a lunar ichor, but there's no harm in asking. Hey, stop! I halted my path instinctively, though after a moment I can see no one was speaking to me. Instead, there's a raucous crowd gathering down the tunnel, shouting and tussling. A few people in utilitarian masks and what looks like uniforms are trying to push their way through. Looks like trouble. Let's get out! Okay. I'm gonna save again. Just to be safe. Okay. Run to safety in the church. Stay and see what happens next. We're gonna run to safety. I'm playing it safe this time. In my haste to escape the ruckus outside, I scramble towards the entrance. Then, once I discern they aren't locked, I slip through the imposing, massive oak doors. What? What's your safe word? Pumpkin is the default safe word, so we're gonna go with that. The carvings in the deep wood press into my palms, a surprisingly comforting, grounding sensation. Then, once the doors close, the change in atmosphere hits me. First is a smell, candle smoke, heavy incense, and cold, crumbling stone. Then comes a solemn silence, the kind that reminds you of your place within these holy walls and the oppressively tall ceiling. I'm finally alone. Look, it says pumpkin in the top corner. Okay, well, that's there now. Oh my gosh, we can select pumpkin anytime. It's our safe word. Pumpkin. Okay. Even if just for a little while, I take that moment to release the breath I was holding and take in my surroundings. This is where the inhabitants of the underground come to worship the lunar god. It's also a reminder that I still haven't found any inadequate leads for the ichor. When I take a couple of steps down the carpeted path beneath the aisles, I suddenly make out a figure behind the altar. They're wearing long robes. A priest? Maybe? Excuse me. I call out, trying to take care not to raise my voice too loud. The person shuffles around and I see their mask too. Well, of course they would be. Even those in service of the Lunar Guard can't afford to take a risk here. Look at him! He's pretty! I do believe this is our first love interest, guys. Look at him. He's handsome. Look at that long hair. Okay. As I approach, I notice a distinct glimmer of a golden brooch nestled beneath the fold of their clothes, proof of their holy devotion. Their entire appearance is refined and almost ethereal. Long, silvery locks of hair cascading down their shoulders, delicate fabrics wrapped over their shoulders, and a long, perfectly gloved fingers. He's a priest. A rich, silken voice. Alright. Alright, I'll try it, but I'm not guaranteeing I can do it correctly. Let me get a drink. It takes me off guard. Do my ears deceive me, or has another fight broken out? The priest stops a few meters from me, and from here, I notice that their mask doesn't cover their mouth, which is set into a thin, disapproving line. You're right. It's quite the scene outside. I pause. I was hoping I could lay low here for a while. I'm not one for brawls. My star, the church, will always be a place of safety for those who need it. Please, stay as long as you like. I was taught that all lunar priests call believers their stars, but it still makes me smile. Well, thank you, Father. A twitch of their lips. Cirrus, you need not call me by those stuffy titles. A man's name, I had a feeling. It's likely not his real one, as is the case of most people in the marketplace, but even a fake name can speak volumes about someone's personality. Ooh, hello, he's so cute! Would you like to light a candle while you're here? Huh? Sure, why not? I follow him towards the back of the church, past the initial altar, and stop in front of the statue. It towers over us, surrounded by row after row of marine blue candles, and the sight takes my breath away. A sea of light. I don't believe I've seen you around these parts before. Is he making small talk? I light a match and watch the flame flicker softly as I bring it to the wick. But I can only answer with a vague pleasantries to make sure I don't divulge important information. No, I'm not exactly a traveler on most days. Think I might see the appeal now, though. Is that so? Despite not being able to see his eyes through the mask, I feel them on me. Cirrus makes no effort to follow up his last comment, and the two of us fall into silence. You're a bit of an unusual priest, aren't you? His lips twitch again, forming into a polite smile. Would you care to elaborate? I'll consider it. We're standing closer now, shoulders only slightly apart as we watch the new flame sway in unison with the rest. There's such a strange comfort to it all. I could linger here for hours soaking up the atmosphere. What's it like? Being a priest, I mean. Demanding answers of me while not offering up your own? Behind my mask, I suppress a smile at his light prodding. You got me there. Well, I understand your caution. This is no means a safe environment. But, if it is of any comfort, my star, I am bound to the lunar scriptures. It's my job to ensure the visitors here feel safe and cared for. The words roll off his tongue with practiced ease. Okay. Yes, I am saving everything. Okay. I like the way he calls me his star. I don't trust him in the slightest. Okay, guys. You know what I'm gonna choose. Every one of you know what I'm about to choose before I choose it. Correct? Correct? If you have been watching me at all, you know where I'm going. I know that's what you call everyone, but being called a star does make one feel a little special. My answer makes him pause for a bit. You are special. Everyone is in their own way. If everyone is special, then that kind of defeats the purpose of the sentiment, doesn't it? I'm mouthing off for the sake of it at this point, funneling the day's frustrations into banter. But Cirrus doesn't mind. I feel his eyes on me again with increased intensity. Would you rather I say you're a bit more special than everyone else? Yes, yes I do. I'm a special star. His voice is laced with unexpected warmth, teasing me like an old friend would. This time, I can't stop myself from chuckling. I'm not opposed to it. But I think I ought to be heading back soon. Errands won't run themselves. Good luck with that, my star. What can I call you next time we meet? Next time, huh? Sparrow. Cyrus repeats it, testing the pronunciation. Then a smile spread across his lips. It suits you. Thanks. Picked it myself. Quite the mouthy one, aren't you? Yes, we are. It's part of my endless charm. That it is. We bid each other a polite farewell, and before I know it, I'm alone in the streets again. I trudge through the market stalls, sweeping over any new available content, as I have every single day since coming down here. Murky-colored crystals, vials filled with shimmering liquids, rare animal leathers. Nothing even remotely resembling the ichor catches my eye. The serenity that fills me at the church is instantly quashed. Instead, all I feel is dread. I've already been over this. Would Cyrus know anything? It's worth asking, and it's the perfect excuse to head back to the church tomorrow. Until then, I kept walking, because that's all I can do to keep myself busy. Yeah, it's an excuse to go back. We want to go see our boy again. This little star wants to go see the priest. Okay, I'm going to leave this part here. We have gotten quite a bit in. Let me see. I'm actually going to go to page 2 for our personal saves. Okay. This will be all our choice saves. Okay, return. But I think we've done quite well for our first part. There's so much lore in this. I'm loving it. And we met our first love interest. He's so pretty. I love him. Yeah, I like being called Star. How about you guys? It's really sweet. But let me know down below what you guys are thinking of this so far. It's like mostly written actions. It's not like what we see, but it's very descriptive and very lovely. I'm looking forward to part 2. I wonder if we would have stayed out, if we would have stayed and seen what was happening with what was going on with the Ruckus, would we have met the other love interest, is my question. But we dived in the church and we met Cyrus, and I am not regretting that at all. Okay. Alright, until next time, guys. Bye!